Yuki, you say hello. We are going to visit today the Institute of Art and Olfaction, and we are in Los Angeles. It happens to be in Chinatown, but you have to know this Chinatown was built in 1930s, and in fact it looks like, and it was built that way more as a movie decor. And you can see during the day actually the streets are empty. They open more during the night. Mondays and Tuesdays are closed, and there is another part in the back with the pagoda. So here is the institute, you will see. And at this very moment, there is an exhibit going on, an exhibition which is Olfactory Art Keller, which is the gallery in New York City, is curating a show at the Institute of Art and Olfaction. And interestingly, I actually have my piece here, black and white Mambo number 5 in the window, and maybe I will do another little explanation about it. So we are going to go inside. Yuki is greeting us. Hello, hello. Voila. You see, so we have, for this exhibit, we have here a piece where you have some scents inserted in certain resins and a soapy material. So it's not a soap per se, but it was developed just like a soap with the same style of chemistry. And then you see there's a resin here to encase the fragrance ingredients. And then we have here another part of the exhibit. Maybe I'll show you in a moment. And here the rest of the exhibit. Interestingly enough, this part here is not the sanitizer, it is an installation, which we'll discuss. So first I want to show you the institute. You see, so here you have, here you have the perfume organ. This one is for classes. So all the ingredients are in solutions with this style of pipette. And so this is very pragmatic when you have a large public, and when you teach preliminary perfumery, you will see the Institute has the real ingredients in their real bottles in the back so that it doesn't become a mess. So that's why, you know, I'm not a fan of this little rubber blah 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 and of having all in solution systematically, but this is the way you can teach a large public to do smaller chords, to come for sessions, and you limit waste at several levels. And actually, at the moment, Saskia, who is sitting here, hello Saskia, the director, voila, and working on several new initiatives for the Institute, new workshops, new movies, etc. She's actually, her and her team are renewing this organ. As you know, unlike music, we have to refresh the notes all the time, and it's a nightmare of our industry. So here is the blackboard, a classical blackboard, you see, with chalk for classes. I'm also nostalgic of such blackboard and the smell of chalk. Here in this corner, you see, that's a corner. Anybody can come and read. Saskia has assembled a large library of perfume books. You probably have here all the perfume-related books in the world because, you know, we don't have as many books as in music or architecture. So it's easy to have a full collection. And that's quite a number. And you're welcome to come when the Institute is open. People are welcome to come and pass by. You can go through these books. And you have some little ingredients here. You can smell certain, see there's Costus root here. Not many people have seen that, including myself. I probably saw it once in a lifetime. And let me smell this thing again. We'll do Costus another time. I'm going to get some from India. And it's one of those banned ingredients that I regret very, very much. Voila. And here I just want to show you briefly in the back. You see, voila, they have about more than 800 ingredients already, and we're working on increasing this number to a larger number of ingredients. But already with 800, they can do a lot of classes. So the way it works, I'll show you again the entrance here, is that you have to check online the opening hours. And when you're in LA, you're welcome to pass by and discuss with the person that's here, or to smell ingredients, or to look at the literature. Otherwise, what happens, they give sessions. Usually they're monthly, and they're like a monthly cycle. And you can learn about a whole order family, or you can learn about a certain style of perfumery from different regions in the world. They have a very diverse group of teachers here. And or you can learn about some facts about the industry, about ingredients. So let's continue with the exhibit. Maybe by courtesy, I will start by the colleagues first. So for every scent in this room, you see, so this is the white concept. So meaning to concentrate on the fragrance, the environment is white, actually a lot like an art gallery. And at the moment, the flacons were designed by the perfumers, and they are enclosed. So here you do not smell at the flacon. You can smell the smelling strips that are dipped fresh when we have the visits. And I wanted to see, this is Tessa. We had Tessa as a flavor artist at our party, our last Valentine party in the store in New York. And here it's a bottle, you see, it's totally closed, you cannot open. But there's a little bit here for the gallery to showcase the scent. You have different pieces. Here I wanted to show you, this is glass sculptures with a little hole, the shape of a nose. And then you can smell, so I cannot turn the camera, which is a little problem, but you can smell by putting your nose like this inside this little hollow carving in the glass. And in here you have beads, you see. These I suspect are EVA beads, that's what they look like, this plastic. You load them with a fragrance. And I'll explain to you on Patreon one day how we create, the challenge is, I don't explain on Patreon how we create, it takes a little bit longer and a little bit more expertise, but the challenge is to create for plastic is different from creating for pure oil, creating for alcohol, creating for a gel, and here also an oil. Here you have some oils encased in aluminum, the old banana and the young banana. Banana is a smell that's underused in perfumery because the perfume profession, the brands, they find this maybe a bit too kitsch or too vulgar, or bon voilà. But everybody loves bananas in the world. It's one of those worldly smell. And just because just a few brands, or it's not even brands, a few filters, in the industry we have a few filters that govern the entire worldwide perfumery. That's how it works. So can you imagine if you had a few filters that govern the entire music played in the world? So those few filters, they are not into bananas. They make us go bananas very often, but they are themselves not into bananas. Voilà. So here we have a piece by, what's her name? Chiaki from IFF. And she has the smell of hope and the smell of hopeless. One is very dark and one is very abstract. I would say it's a very mineral, a bit sea-like, very blue, white in my mind, but very, very just fresh, if you wish. How can you have just fresh? But it's here. And this one is very dark. How can you have just dark? But it's here. Dark and rooty, but not smoky. Voilà. And here you have a piece by Yves Cassard, a different piece sur the capital of Algeria, and because he spent his childhood there, and he wanted to recreate this special atmosphere which you will never be able to have again. And this is a piece by Carlos. So you know Carlos is we were colleagues, we are still colleagues, but we were colleagues in crime for 8 years at IFF. We created Polo Blue for Men, and we created Abercrombie, and we created, bon. So Carlos created also the original Polo Green and Eternity for Men, and several Armanis, and the original Amber for Prada with some other perfumers. And so here is a smell. 16 ton, I don't remember the concept. You should read it on the website of Olfactory Art Keller and the website of Institute of Art and Olfaction. The smell is very sweet, very powdery, caramelly. It's a very nice, pleasant smell. So I need to smell why it's called 16 ton. Interesting. And then here you have a gel. The Scent of Exile, where this is an important theme that the artist here explored. And in the original gallery, you had all these gel provider that we know now, unfortunately. But and gel is a nice medium. It's usually it's water-based, but it has to have something that is not water-based. But same, the fragrance will diffuse differently in a gel and in a non-gel. Voilà. So that gives you a little sense of the Institute, and you'll hear from us on Patreon about more initiatives for the Institute and everything they do for education. You also know, I want to finish on that, I think there is a picture here. That's the very Institute that gives the awards. I hope you now know these famous awards, the pear-shaped. And so every year they have a very strict judging system. I've explained already several times. Saskia comes from the movie industry, and we can say whatever we want. Here is a little award, you see. So this is a mock-up, voilà. And Saskia comes from the movie industry, and we can say whatever we want about the Oscars and the Academy Awards, but they are much stricter. I know it's not perfect, and I know they have to fix a few things, they are doing it, but still, it's much stricter, much more, less conflict of interest, the way the awards are provided. And at least it's not Sony voting for all the Sony movies and the Paramount voting for all the Paramount movies, etc., etc. And then I can go on. You've read already what I wrote on Instagram about how some other awards are provided, not on an ethical level at all. So Saskia is very, very strict about that. And so the finalists are going to be communicated in April, I believe, and the finals will be given at the WPC in Miami, which is end of June, early July. Voilà. So this is where this whole the brain and the activity of that judging is taking place every year. It's a huge amount of effort, because unlike some other awards, the judges are required to smell all the fragrances that they're judging. So you would tell me this should be obvious. Well, it's not obvious, because I know several awards where the judges don't even smell the perfumes to judge them. Voilà. So that's another aberration. So here at the Institute, the judges, and that's why she requires two different levels of judges, etc. And you have a first degree and a second degree. But everybody, and so she provides to all the judges a sample of all the perfumes they have to judge. So it is a lot of work, all done by hand. There is no machine to do that. There is no company, there is no contractor where you can call and they do that. They don't even know how to manipulate a perfume, so forget about organizing this. You cannot ship this via the internet or via an email in PDF files, or you can ship a link to a movie. So you can imagine the amount of logistics that this is, but it's all organized here by hand. And but this way, so we don't know how many fragrances are involved. Maybe it's 100, 200, 300, God knows. But they have to sample all this, provide that to the judges, and then the finalists to all the final judges, etc. It's humongous. But that's also a guarantor of the quality of these awards. Voilà. So I hope you learned something. I hope you're encouraged. You see, we have very long nights here, so that's why we have the monster balls in the back. But I hope you're encouraged to visit the website. And second, when you're in LA, to visit the place. And third, to take some of the workshops that are provided. As I say, most of them, if not all, are provided now by Zoom. Some of them are provided also, of course, in person, including the ones where we can do hands-on perfumery and accord building, etc. But even when it's about a family, on Zoom, they will give you very detailed information and guidelines to create your own accord if that's what you're interested in. Voilà, so that was the little tour in LA. Saskia, say bye, and then see you soon for another one.